Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And welcome to the Team Racing YouTube channel. Dr. Lulu, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you. Welcome or thank you. I don't know, whichever one. Thank you so much for having me.
Certainly. It is such a pleasure to have you here with us today. And so I want to kick this all off by just having you introduce yourself to our audience and give us a little background.
Well, my name is Dr. Lulu. My given name obviously is not Dr. Lulu. It's Uche Naume, but I go by Dr. Lulu now since the past maybe 3 or 4 years, since I've kind of slowly withdrawn from active duty medicine. So I'm actually a real doctor. I tell people to just deal with it. I am a pediatrician. I'm also a 4-time best-selling author, podcaster, international speaker, and all of that. But most importantly, in recent times, I'm a general life coach and more specifically, life coach for parents of LGBTQ plus kids. I help them accept themselves as parents of queer kids as they journey towards supporting their children. So it's a very delicate balance. Most of my clients are still having the mind drama of, oh my goodness, my child is out. Many of them say, oh, it's not a problem, but so naturally there's a problem.
I should send my parents over to you.
Kids, and we all want to support our kids, but the truth is, a challenge is a challenge, and if you don't accept it as a challenge, you're never going to get to the other side, which is the solution, if there's such a thing. So I help the parents along their journey of supporting their kids. But first, we stop at the department of self-love, self-discovery, and self-acceptance on our way. So that's kind of how
awesome, amazing. Well, tell me how you made this transition from, being actively working in medicine to, now transitioning into self-help, specifically, when it comes to LGBTQ kids and parents and that. How did you get that transition, and what really inspired it?
Well, I'm a pediatrician, so suffice it to say that I've worked with kids for 30 years. Actually, turned 30 as a physician last summer on the 5th of July. And so I said to myself, you know what, self? I would like to retire. And so we did. So we basically hung up our stethoscope. Last July as a pediatrician because I really wanted to focus more on life coaching. Now, that said, I realized that I could just coach anybody I like, or I can coach parents of queer kids. That's my eldest child, who first came out as gay at 16, then came out as non-binary at 20, and now last Christmas came out as transgender. So it's been a journey of self-acceptance for myself first.
Yes.
Self-discovery and my own internalized homophobia. I always want to say internalized racism, but really it's internalized homophobia, my own fears and guilt and shame and everything that comes with being an African woman who was raised in a Catholic church and told that everything that is not cis, het, white, I want to add white there because as a Nigerian, we have our own version of self-hatred, which is called tribalism or ethnicism or whatever. So really we're raised to believe that anything that is not cis, het, white is actually not good. And of course, I'm Black, and I just happen to not be cis, het. So there's that fear there that you grow up thinking that there's something wrong with you. And when your child is showing signs that they're also in the queer space, you're like, oh no, God, no, don't do this, no. I don't want my child to have to deal with this. Please, just anything but this. And it's all internalized. It's from our thoughts processes, from the way we were brought up, from the way we were church, huge religious trauma department. So all of that was kind of what made me decide that, if I'm going to struggle like this, this knowing what I know. Ironically, I also work in the youth suicide prevention arena. So my TED talk is about that. So knowing everything that I'm wondering, How many other people are out there who don't even know half of what I know, and their kids are
Yes.
them what's actually going on? So that's
And
what makes
that's so
like
important.
parents. Go ahead.
Yeah, that is so important. That's so important. I'm from the Caribbean. I grew up Seventh-day Adventist. I'm also gay. So I'm from Jamaica too. So my parents have had a bit of a time accepting, what that may be. So, what advice would you have for parents, like that, especially those from, really religious, really African or Caribbean background? What like quick advice would you give to them when it comes to, having LGBTQ kids? And how your own experience really gone into now how you do this, like your experience of having an LGBTQ child?
So the truth about it is, as a life coach, true to my profession as a life coach, I don't give advice. And I think people sometimes don't know the difference. And well, what is a life coach? Well, a life coach is a person who maybe is 2 or 3 steps ahead of you and is holding the lantern. But you are walking on the steps. You are doing. So as a physician, I was a consultant, and my job was to, you come tell me what's going on with you, headache, sore throat, fever, whatever. And I said, well, this is what's going on. This is what you should do. As a coach, I don't do that. As a coach, I ask you powerful questions. The most important question is, it's like a duh question, but do you really, truly love your child? One. Number 2, what are you making your child's LGBTQ status mean about you? Like, really, you can answer that question. What are you making it mean about you? Because a lot of parents take over the agenda and make it about them. Oh my God, what's going to say? What's the church going to say? What's my mama going to say? That's making it about you. Forgetting that, or maybe not knowing that your child has known that they were gay or queer or trans or whatever for a long time before they ever told you, if they tell you. If the child doesn't tell you, another question is, why do you think your child didn't come out to you? Or, like I prefer to say these days, invite you into their queer space. Why do you think your child didn't share that piece with you? What could you have done differently, or what are you doing right now that's making your child not see you as a safe place? For me, I love asking questions as a physician. That's what I did for a living. So now I finally have the authority to just ask you questions and let you sit with the emotions and let you come up with your own answers. That's what life coaching is. It's never one size fits all. Everybody's experience is different. While we can generalize, most Christians, maybe most Muslims, we can generalize, but ultimately when we come into your heart and your soul, you might even be gay. And because of internalized racism, you're not even able to first accept yourself as queer. What more accept your child? So as a life coach, I don't generalize anymore. I just ask these questions. So what are you making what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your fears? What are your misconceived notions about the gay community? What are the belief processes you have? What do you think when you hear gay? All of those things, you got to put them on the table. Then we sort through it. And when you arrange it all, you'll see it's going to spell hatred or homophobia or whatever. And then we start rearranging those letters to spell love.
Yes.
Magic, then it's not, and therefore it's not overnight. It's not, you just have to sit and decide those who you listen to, those who you think will mind, do they really matter when you put your child next to them? Because ultimately, what we're afraid of is our kids spiraling into a negative world where they're thinking that they're not good enough. They're thinking that their life is not worthy. They're thinking that they should kill themselves. So all of that is on this side. And here you are. I love you, but I won't tolerate that behavior. What behavior? What behavior? The child is like that. So I want the parents to come from that mindset of, This is the child that I gave birth to. Most of us beg God for this child. We beg God, please give me a boy or a girl or whatever. You beg God. And then you said, it's a boy. You said, it's a girl. And then the child says, so you know what? Actually, I don't think I'm a boy. You're like, oh my God. You've been watching too much TV, or you've been watching, you're on the social media. We start looking for reasons, except, wow, how long have you known? Thank you for sharing that with me. Right? Opening up and just making it open, asking open-ended questions like, how would you like me to support you with this? What would you like? As much as possible, ask questions that don't require yes or no. What are your thoughts about me sharing this with other family members? Say, well, you know what? Right now, I don't want to. Or yeah, sure, you could tell grandma and grandpa. Leave room for them to give you explanations versus, do you want me to tell dad? No. Well, why don't you want me to tell dad? No. How would you feel if I shared it with, I don't know, my coworkers? Or do you have any thoughts about me sharing? Or you know what? Thank you so much for sharing with me. Let me know when you would like me to tell other people. Or maybe maybe the child wants to be in control and doesn't want you to tell anybody. No, mom, I want to tell them myself. Sharing about your sexuality is 110% about safety. If your child doesn't feel like you're a safe person, I don't care if you're their pastor or you're their Mother Teresa, they can't tell you. And enough people say, well, I kind of suspected that he was gay, so I asked him and he said he's not. Well, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Why they haven't told you yet. And so when you come at them like that, that might be what they need to run back into the closet, lock the door, and never come out again. Does it mean that they're not really gay? Or maybe they're waiting for you to die, like some of my friends told me, or for them to move out of the house, like my own child did when they got to Stanford. Then they were using they, them pronouns for 4 years while they were in college, and I had no idea. I've known that they were gay, but I had no idea about the non-binary. And so I'm saying I need people to be open to that. So all of those things are what I went to. Now, did I just say, oh, yeah, sure? No, I was like, wait, what? Like any normal person would. And so my other question to you is, what if it's okay for you to struggle with the acceptance? What if that's okay? What's not okay is that now you need to not spend too much time struggling. Oh my God, it's so hard for me to use the pronouns. The truth is, if you found this glass case in your neighborhood, you're going to say, oh, somebody lost their glass case. They're going to say there. So when your child says that their pronouns is they, them, their, oh my God, is that even correct English? Well, is it? Somebody lost their glasses because you didn't know who the person was.
Yeah.
Somebody lost their phone because you didn't know who the person was. So if your child says that they are they, them, how do you change from Miss Ume to Mrs. Ume? You practice.
Yeah.
When I got married, my last name changed. So what I'm saying is we as people need to allow our brains to morph and to not just dig our heels. This is what I know. This is how I know it. This is how it ought to be. Well, you're only using a very small percentage of your brain. That means that there's a lot that you don't know. But if you don't allow for the knowledge, then you're not going to grow, because it's called growing pains, which means there's some struggle and difficulty, but all of the goodness is on the other side of that fear.
Yes. And that's so important.
Yeah. Most parents are afraid of their kids being killed. All of that is true for me. But right now, my child's biggest issue is not for me to focus on that. It's for me to focus on supporting them.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, than thinking of my child dying.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit about your authorship. You are a best-selling author. I want to talk about your latest book. Talk to us about it, and what the work was like putting into writing that last one.
So I have I'm working on my 6th book. Let me put it that way. And I literally just got it's not ready yet, but I got the first rendition of the book cover, but we had to make some changes, so I'm not going to show it yet. But it's actually my first work in the LGBTQ plus space. I cannot thank God enough for the idea to do it. And trust me, I have started, then I stopped, then I started, then I stopped. I was just fighting it until finally my own coach said something last week. She said, you need to partner with the spirit of your business. And the spirit of your business, she said to me, is maybe the universe or ether or God. And that hit me. I was like, oh my God, if God is the partner in my business, then that means God has been knocking on the door this whole time for me to do my own part. And this whole time I've been like, oh, I'm afraid, forgetting that if you have a partnership, you do your own part and God will do their own part. And I know that's kind of a mythical way to look at it, but that's the way that I am seeing this particular kind of work. I didn't have this trouble when I went to medical school and became a doctor, because I love being a pediatrician. But working in the space where everybody else is a homophobe, including my own internalized homophobia, it is very difficult to move forward without doubting every step that I take. And so I needed to write this book. So this book is called Invited In, going into the mindset of and trying to spread the word of not using the phrase coming out anymore. I feel like coming out takes the agency from the owner. Invited in means I get to choose who I want to give my invitation, and I can rescind it. I don't want to give it anymore. So I use invited in. I didn't create it. I found that there are a couple of blogs I saw, about 2 blogs I saw online that discussed invited in as a new concept, and I'm very happy about that. So I'm using invited in, and then the subtitle is How to Become the Parent Your Queer Child Needs. Because a lot of times parents have this idea of what they want their child to be. But really, you should be focusing on who your child needs you to be. For example, if my child had epilepsy, my child is going to need me to come out as a mother of an epileptic. If my child is gay, my child needs me to come out as the mother of a gay child. And that process is the process of allyship. So the book is really about becoming the hashtag parentally. And I'm calling parentally as one word, not parent ally. No, I want the parents to see them as you're a parent and you're an ally at the same time. So it's kind of like a whole new concept. I'm very proud that I'm bringing to the table. Never heard of it. The word parent ally is 2 words or is hyphenated, but mine is parentally. So it's one word, so that you as a parent sees yourself always as a parent and always as an ally. Not today I'm going to be an ally, today I'm going to be a parent. No, you're always going to be a parent ally. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it's so well needed. It is so well needed. And so I definitely want to pick it up and send it to so many people.
Yes, the book's going to be ready hopefully by my birthday, which is in March. So I have very little time left, but I'm working on it.
Amazing,
I'm
amazing.
very proud of that. I'm very proud of the whole concept of making it parent ally. And I went and I bought every single domain that has to do with parent ally so that nobody can steal my word for me.
Okay, so how can people like follow you, keep up with what you're doing, support in any way, or get your books? How can they go ahead and do that?
So first of all, my books are all on Amazon. This new baby is not ready yet, so she's still in the oven. Actually, I think they're going to be non-binary, so they're still in the oven. I have my other books on Amazon. My website is dr-lulu.com. So dr-lulu.com. You can see everything about me there because I'm also a speaker, an author. I have a podcast, which I would like to invite you to come on, by the way. My podcast is called The Pride Corner, Our Coming Out Stories and More. So what I'm doing space for people in the queer community and all parents and allies, and maybe even a few homophobes to come out and just share their story. Why not? So I'm holding space for you.
Yes.
And it's
Thank you. Thank you.
on YouTube and all the big Spotify and Amazon and Google Play and wherever other podcasts can be heard. So that's my podcast. Now, this Saturday, I'm launching for the first time ever my class, which is called the three mistakes. Yeah, that one. Yes. How did you know my top 3 mistakes parents make when their kids come out as LGBT? So since then, I've changed the title to when their kids invite them in, but still same thing.
Yes.
I've got that, which is this Saturday, which I'm really proud of myself. It's going to be the first time I'm teaching it to an audience that is paying. And I'm going to try to do it every week and make it like a weekly thing as a funnel into my 12-week online program called Becoming the Parent Your LGBTQ plus child needs. So it's kind of similar to the book.
Yes.
So the program is 12 weeks, and it's based on my 3B framework. So the first B is the basics, where we go through the basics, literally speaking, because most people don't even know what all the letters mean, pronouns, what are the new names, dead names, what is a demisexual, what are all these things? Are you even possibly gay, yourself? So the basics. And then the second B is the building, where we're building up by going into your closet and bringing out everything, looking at all of those lies you've been told, all the misconceived notions, all the misperceptions, all the mistakes that you made because you've internalized this thing about the LGBT community over the years, and you've kind of become this person that is struggling to accept your child when all your child is doing is just being themselves, right? So that's the building. And then the other B is the becoming, where we put all of the first and the second together and then toss in your child and what your child actually needs from you. You'll be surprised that your child just wants you to make dinner, just, Mom, I just wanted to tell you, let's make dinner. Or maybe your child wants you to go to the school and advocate for them because they need a bathroom. There's, I don't know, there's queer friendly. Or maybe your child needs you to go to the White House to testify. Or maybe just to tell your neighbor their new name or their new pronoun. So this is what I'm actually very proud of myself as I'm saying it. I didn't think it was that nice sounding, but because I've been really skeptical about putting it out there. But the more I talk about it, the more I'm thinking, it's actually not a bad.
Yes, it's not. It's not. It's certainly needed. It is certainly needed. Well, Dr. Lulu, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for the work that you are doing. It's a necessity. It is a necessity out there because so many parents struggle with this. So I am glad that we have someone in our corner like you who, is able to break it down, is able to really be on that level with the parents who, really understands, so much about it and is on their own journey as well. Because, experience.
That's the best part. I am you. I tell the parents, I am you. I'm not anything. You can take off all of my titles, MBA, MD, Lieutenant Colonel, all of that. Take all that out. I'm just a parent of a child that is also trying to unlearn and learn.
Yes.
And I try to say that versus unlearn and relearn, because unlearning and relearning means you're relearning the same thing
that you already unlearned.
And then I'm learning. So.
Well, thank you so much. And I look out for that invitation to the podcast.
Yes, I'm going to say it to you.
Yes.
I'd love you to come. Absolutely.
Certainly. I look forward to it. So thank you so much. I know the viewers certainly enjoyed this. And for more information, you can check out the link that will be in the description, because we're going to have Dr. Lulu's website there, social media, everything. So you can get more information right there. So thank you so much. To all our viewers, make sure that you follow Team Racing Productions on social media. But most of all, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye.